There's something in the junk journal world called paper ruffling that makes a great embellishment to any project. I want to show you my routine for doing it, which does include making a special sheen or shine to that coffee-dyed ruffle paper. See the accents on this junk journal page? Ruffles are done many and varied ways throughout the craft world, but I just want to show you my routine, which you might like how organized it is. So, taking a plain 8.5 by 11 sheet of printer paper, I'm simply going to fold up at the bottom about an inch. Now I'm going to go very slowly here because I want you to get it. Once you get it, the rhythm of this, it goes fast and you can make paper ruffle with wild abandon. Now I flipped it and pinched up about half as much as that inch so that it looks like that. Now flip it and fold yet again about another 3/4 to an inch. Flip it and pinch back, and that's the rhythm I'm going to take you through now, which will be flipping, folding, flipping, and pinching. So flipping, folding, and it doesn't have to be even. In fact, it's charming when it's imperfect, isn't it? Folding, flipping. You'll see in a moment where when you spread the entire thing out, it's easier to pinch. Flip, fold. Now, if you're enjoying this content so far, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Hit that notification bell so that you can get these types of videos from me every time. Flip and pinch. Now, as we get further up the page, it gets a little more challenging because you've got a handful. But I did manage to just flip and fold, flip and pinch. It's not as easy as just making your ordinary accordion. The folds have to be spaced out, don't they? So I've flipped and I'm trying to fold. It's a little awkward here as I get towards the top. Pinching once again. Now I'm going to do the last fold of about that inch, and I need to leave a small remainder that I then fold down and back in such a way that it's going to make a great insertion spot for the next accordion piece, which you'll see in a moment as I painstakingly try to get this fold such that there's a little tiny extension. And there you can see it at last. And that's how you can tell top from bottom. Otherwise, when you flip this thing around, now it kind of all looks the same, doesn't it? Take a bone folder and really crease it. You'll be glad you did, because we're going to cut into strips now. About 1 inch to 1 1/8 inches. I'm going to get about 8 strips out of this. I've got the paper upside down right now. You can tell because that little lip extension is at the top. Doesn't matter while you're cutting. But let's just take these first 2 strips and I'll see you how you would join this now when you go to sew it, because we're going to sew it all together. Take the bottom of one and the top of the other, insert, and look, you cannot even tell that they're 2 pieces. And where the join is, that's the magic of that little extension that hangs down on the bottom. Okay, so now I'm ready to take this over to the machine and sew it. But first, I'll just quickly cut the other strips so I can take them over to the machine too. And there you see again, there's the third extension. It just clips right on. All right, over at the machine I have gold metallic thread in. I've got a fancy stitch lined up and just taking one piece. I'll get going. I won't need to backstitch because this is a tight zigzag designer stitch. And I just fold down the accordion as I go. Just ride the escalator down. And fold as you go. I never was very good at folding spontaneously as I go. That's why I invented this system of folding beforehand. Now, when you're in the second to the last full fold, take and identify the top of the next piece and just slide in the connection and take off. There, it's in. It's never going to get away from you again. Keep going. Now that I'm in the second to the last full fold, I'm ready to take off with the next one. And it kind of got away from me, but just in time, I was able to sandwich it in. And that, folks, is how it goes. I'll stop right at this point, but you could go for as many strips as you have made. And this is the end result. Looks pretty fancy, just like this, stark white with gold thread, but it'll be so much nicer when it achieves my special sheen coffee dye routine. So here's a tub full of coffee dregs from my push pot of the day, and I'm going to leave it in for a good couple minutes. I don't usually dye my paper for that long, but the strips, and you could put any number of strips in here and fill the tub up, couldn't you? After a good couple minutes soaking wet, I'll lay it out and making sure that I have the correct side up. So identify where that little lip is at the bottom. That's the right side up. I mean, you can do both sides, but you'll have to wait till one side dries and then do the other. So I've taken some gold metallic paint, brushed it on my brush, and I'm just dabbing and daubing. I might even get heavy-handed after a while because I love this paint so much. I love what it does for coffee-dyed paper. It lends a very rich, sophisticated look to it, I believe. It's quite the novelty. All right, this is the paint I use. I use large bottles that last me a long time. If you don't want to invest in large bottles like that, take and get a product such as this. These items are listed in my Amazon store in the description below. Once all dry, look at there. See the sheen? Beautiful. Now here are a couple of pages prepared to adorn with Ruffle that I made earlier. So here's my process. Just snip. Utilize double-sided tape. I mean, you can use a bead of glue or any other type of glue. I find that using the double-sided tape is more secure. There's another one on this page. I've done both edges both sides. Pretty nice. So what do you think I did with that page? I inserted it in this particular junk journal, and it really lends a fancy adornment, embellishment to the junk journal, I feel like. See the potential for just folding up some paper, creasing it, dunking it in coffee, and splattering some paint on it? Yeah. A beautiful effect that anyone can achieve. Check out the link in the description below, and we'll see you next time.